What's up, everybody? Welcome to John versus episode 6. With me this week, you've seen him everywhere, Mr. Jacob Cameron. Sir, how are you doing this fine evening?
I'm doing very well, John. Thank you for having me. I've been looking forward to being on the show. Earlier this year, as a watch along on my friend's channel, I watched Thanksgiving for the first time. It was terrible. So it kind of gave me the courage to say to myself, if I can survive that, I can survive anything.
I don't know. Thanksgiving on the spectrum of schlocky bad movies is actually really good. If you set that as like a 5-star movie, which nobody does, if you were to set that as a 5-star movie, there are definitely 1-star movies in comparison to Thanksgiving as a 5.
I don't know if that's depressing or just a sense of relief to know that there are worse movies than Thanksgiving.
There definitely are, because Thanksgiving was made with love. It's a little late for you to watch Thanksgiving this year, but definitely in your rotation, everybody out there, for next Thanksgiving, give it a shot. Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving 3. Thanksgiving 2, unfortunately, lost in the ether, never to be seen again. But today, we watch bad movies, so you don't have to. So today, a movie so bad they named it twice. It's either The Hanged Girl or The Haunting at St. Joseph's, depending on where you find it.
Good to see you again.
Seriously, Aaron, we're going on holidays.
A week's time, we'll be married. 2 weeks after that, we'll be in England.
We've got to get on the road.
I see you guys are going to St. Joe's. Don't know if you've heard, some states haunted by human sacrifice. To the human sacrifice?
We've had paranormal investigators come through, and they all say that there's something there.
Do you really believe this place is haunted?
I just want to say bless those trailer people, the people that edited that together, because they made that movie far more interesting than what it actually was.
I will say, a lot of times, these are Jagged Edge movies. Some movies are Jagged Edge adjacent. That Uncorked Entertainment is a company that does crossovers kind of with Jagged Edge. This is in the same family as Jagged Edge. While it may not have the same branding, it is like a cousin. And because there's a lot of movies. And Uncorked, I would say, actually has a pretty decent spectrum of movies. You might actually find mediocre movies, but this is not one of them. Going on that trailer, this is easily the most misleading trailer out of every movie I've ever shown. That trailer would lead you to believe that the hanged girl actually is central to the plot of this movie. It is not. And, usually what I do is I have my guests take a crack at, if you were to give us a movie synopsis in 30 seconds, what's this movie about, Jacob?
This movie is about some drama. It's basically, there's this girl who's about to get married to this guy, and this guy is trying to say to his ex, stay away from me, but the ex still has feelings, and it's just love triangle CWBS, and it's headache inducing. You can count the number of scenes that the hanged girl is in this movie on one hand and have fingers left over.
Yeah. The movie is The Hanged Girl, or The Haunting at St. Joseph, however you look at it. The Hanged Girl shows up in the first 90 seconds of the movie, and then she's occasionally referenced every 20 minutes or so, just in case you forget what movie you're watching. But it has absolutely nothing to do with the plot. The Haunting at St. Joseph's. St. Joseph's is where they're at. Nothing is haunted. Nothing is haunted. Everything in that trailer is misleading.
honestly, The Haunting at St. Joseph's is a more accurate title. I mean, like I said, hanged girl, like almost nowhere to be found. Like if they were going to try and do like a haunting-esque movie, I mean, might as well name it The Haunting at St. Joseph's. But it's like, no, it's like they got to have the hanged girl in there somewhere, and she pops up like you're watching like Netflix or something, and you pause it for too long. Is like, are you still watching? And like, is the hanged girl still there? Or like, oh yeah, well, it's like the director legit forgot, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, we gotta like fill in the quota for the hanged girl in here somewhere.
Like they got the trademark for the hanged girl. Like, oh, this is about to run out, guys. We paid for this trademark. We gotta put it in. So I think 2 people mention the hanged girl throughout the movie, and then there's like 2 legit like just scenes where they put in like somebody sees the hanged girl, but like she is not like a supernatural presence. She does not change the events of the movie. She does not determine anything that happens. It is just the first 90 seconds of the movie. We meet this girl. She's like the sole survivor of a village that everybody died from smallpox. She goes to a convent for help. They realize she doesn't have smallpox.
She doesn't have the pox.
Swear I'm not infected.
And these 2 nuns chase her through the woods in the slowest chase for whatever. She hides behind a tree when somebody is legit 2 feet behind her. Like in the weirdest, like Looney Tunes shake 'em. Then they hit her over the head and hang her, and then that storyline is dropped.
Pretty much, yeah. And really, that whole scene is the best part of the movie for me, because it's like it was at the very least like okay, this seems intriguing. This might go somewhere. No, it goes nowhere. It's like killed, stone dead, and then we're off to this love triangle nonsense.
Yeah. So our main character, Lily, I believe her name is. Yeah, Lily. She is, in case you couldn't tell from the trailer, and they will drive this home 500 times during this movie, she is Muslim.
Severe respiratory failure, no response to corticosteroid treatments.
And nobody can, it's 2023, nobody can handle it. Her fiance can kind of handle it. Nobody else can handle the fact that she is Muslim. In a setting society back decades, nobody can handle the fact that she is Muslim.
Yeah, it's so unsubtle with it too. It's like the movie felt like it came out in 2003, not 2023.
It came out on September 12th, 2001, with the level of Islamophobia that is just put out there in this movie.
Let the doctors do their goddamn job.
They're not doing their job.
You keep that fucking raghead away from my door.
Myra, this is not the time.
It's so blatant, and it's just like, what was the reasoning for this? I was so confused. It's like, we get it. She's Muslim. Like she prays. So like she wears a hijab. I'm like, that's all you need. But no, it's like another like other movies that like got to remind people that they're Catholic or something. It's like It's the same thing.
Yeah, not a scene goes by in this movie where it is not central to whatever is going on, even though it has nothing to do with what's going on. You were just reminded 2 things about her: she is Muslim and she has asthma, are the 2 things that are driven home. Even though the asthma never comes into play, really, she just every once in a while she just has an inhaler.
Or asks for it.
Yes, or asks for it. I think we kind of just first get introduced to the fact that she is, obviously she is Muslim by the fact that she's in medical work. All the main characters except for one are doctors for some reason. They're the worst doctors I've ever seen. Like, I don't know how they graduated in medical school, but they are all doctors, except for the fiance's sister, who is a mechanic, and she calls everybody idiots. That's her entire character arc.
Kit did call you the car doctor. Keep them coming, idiots.
And she's very protective of her brother, and she's very Islamophobic.
Yeah, this was just, her portrayal was just so cartoony. I was just sitting there the entire time like, what happened? Like, there's got to be like something to explain like why she is the way that she is, and it is never explained.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like there was entire scenes cut out of this movie to where like explaining why she doesn't like Muslim people so much. But
Well,
no,
I think she doesn't like her because they do a little bit of exposition way at the end of the movie. When we finally realize why she's so hostile to her is because the sister had once been committed to a mental institution. And I guess while Lily, the main character, was doing her medical rounds, she was a resident at the mental institution and for some reason abused her.
You don't recognize me, do you? Johnson's psych ward.
You liked your drink. I was depressed and violent. Maybe you were too smashed to remember. I doubt that you even realize I'm the reason Kit went into psychiatry, because he didn't want to see anyone suffer like I did.
Because we also find out, everything is very convenient in this movie as well, too. We also find out that she was not a Muslim her entire life. She converted to Islam because she was an alcoholic, and converting to the Islamic faith, she's forbidden from drinking. So really complicated. Wasn't necessary, but it's there.
yeah, it's window dressing for the sake of like spicing up this whole thing. And I was like, the entire time thinking to myself, why is this important? It's never relevant to anything like related to the hang girl. Like, they're going to like what I assume is a Catholic monastery, so the Muslim side of things has no part to play in any of that whatsoever. If they were like visiting like, I don't know, like a mosque or something, like maybe that could have been something, but no. So it's just like, why bother?
Well, yeah, like I said, so we're introduced to Lily. She's in the hospital. She's a doctor now, and there is a trauma that comes in, and it is some of the worst, or not. It isn't even worst effect. It's non-effects, because she's trying to do a drainage with a syringe, and it's just a bunch of close-ups of her jamming this prop needle into this person's back, but it not puncturing skin.
What's she doing?
Maher, no!
And then she gets the shakes, and I think the person either dies or their condition worsens, and that, of course, spurns the Caucasians to hurl anti-Islamic epithets at her.
You keep that fucking rag head away from
just because something happened in the hospital.
For her only crime of existing, apparently.
Pretty much.
And this hospital looks so fake. Like I went to Embry-Riddle here in Daytona Beach. It's like a very big aeronautics college. There's like a big student union with a bunch of study rooms. Like, I was watching this in this hospital, like they might as well have just put medical equipment and some beds in one of those study rooms and just moved out the dry erase tables and the commissary and just like, yep, here's your hospital. I'm just like, this looks nothing like a hospital.
The hospital looks like a hospital from your favorite adult movie.
Dr. Lily,
Yes, sweetie.
Chris gave this to me, but I think you need it more.
That is what the hospital in this movie looks like. But yeah, so then that's just kind of like that introduces her, and then we find out that she is engaged to I forget what is her Kit. Kit is her fiance's name, but in honor of their engagement, them and I believe 3 other friends and Kit's sister are all going up to St. Joseph's. Never really explained why they're going to this specific location, like Jacob already alluded to. They get there. There's a phone call where they kind of try to like do some supernatural stuff with the lady who's there.
This place is really creepy. Something in there.
For some reason, I'll put that scene in here. And then they get there, and like another weird scene happens where they're like, okay, let's go for a moonlight stroll. Like him Kit and Lily are supposed to go out for a walk, but Lily leaves by herself and walks through a graveyard. And
Perfect night for a moonlight stroll.
gets to the monastery, but no, it never dawns on her that her friends are not around. So she goes into the monastery, and all of a sudden, all the plague doctor, eyes wide shut people like descend on her. And like in my head, I'm like, those are her friends. Like, because we're like 10 minutes into the movie. Like nothing bad's gonna happen. We're 10 minutes into the movie. Like, these are her friends. The most thinly veiled, like, non-twist I've ever seen.
Yeah, legit. I said to myself, like, I'm gonna tell my kids this was Eyes Wide Shut. I'm like, what are we even doing here? Like, the most generic, like, plague doctor black mask, the most basic red robes. I could go to my local Party City and find these costumes. Like, good lord. It just like, she runs away like, before she runs away, they like push her gently. It's like in the most non-threatening pushes you'll ever see.
Yeah, they surround her in a full-on grade school playground bullying circle. And she's just, Tal Hymans, who plays Lily Kahn, is such a. I usually don't comment on a particular actor or actress in this movie, because usually all the actors and actresses are bad, and all the actors and actresses in this movie are pretty bad. But she is so bad and can deliver no lines with any emotion whatsoever throughout the entirety of the movie, that these other community theater actors look like. It's like they're all Brando, and she's a statue. Would you agree?
Yeah, and I used to be an actor in a ton of plays in my area, so I'm a little more forgiving of that. I came from that world, so I guess I'm a little more like, I know what it takes on that level. But I was just sitting there thinking to myself, did she even try? Did that was the take that they accepted?
It might be the director's fault. Yeah, you're right. It might be the director's fault, but she is not trying at all. Like, every scene, no matter what's going on, it's the same face, it's the same emotion. There's a little bit, maybe a few scenes where she's like in the groove, but it's a 90-minute movie, and I'd say 75 minutes of it is the biggest, like, stage fright, non-reactionary line delivery you'll ever see.
Yeah, it's like you said, a complete non-twist. She's hanging up there with her mouth taped, and then just one of them is like, whoop, 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 whoop. Like, here, babe, it's me. It's fine.
Blood of the innocent defied the plagues. It's been this way for 200 years.
All right, stop. Hey, it's just me. It's all right. Okay, you're okay. You're okay, here.
I'm just sitting there like, okay, it was lame to begin with. So like, it was pretty obvious what you all were doing, but at least make an attempt to be like, gotcha, like, do something, like, the bare minimum.
Yeah, they did this to her because she's a prankster, and like, she was like stealing body parts and putting them in people's lockers, and like all kinds of crazy, like, really against the law pranks she was pulling on her friends.
But I'll get you back for this.
This is for that male stripper prank you pulled at my stag do.
And the fake emergency call out.
And the cadaver leg in my locker prank.
Okay, I get it.
And they pull a prank on her, and she's, honestly, watch the scene if you watch this movie. She's totally cool with it, like laughing, going along with it 100. But then later on in the movie, she claims she was traumatized. So that kind of took me back too.
Delayed reaction, I guess.
Yeah. Then I think they do the prank. Then they go into town. They're celebrating. We meet the best actress in the movie, who is the bartender. She's by far, like, she's like, best actress in the movie, and I'm not even joking. Just because she's delivering the whole, hey, we're a touristy town, and this place is haunted, and we've had paranormal activity people come in here and check it out. And then it cuts to the wall where they have like missing posters, and one of them is a dog wearing a suit and glasses.
Some say that all the businesses around here are so old and successful is because we're protected by an ancient spirit. Or a sacrifice. Take this place. No downturn in profits, even though there's been a pandemic, and it's been in the family for over 150 years.
I don't know if you noticed that, but I'll put that scene right here.
You know, the level of delivery of this dialogue, it literally reminded me of like an NPC in like an RPG game.
Yes.
It's like we triggered a quick time event or something.
And they do that. They're having a great time. Everyone's drinking. She's not drinking. Why is that? Is it because she's Muslim? Yes, it's because she's Muslim. We haven't mentioned that she's Muslim in 5 minutes. She's drinking orange juice. They're drinking alcohol. Then we go to the next day, and they're all swimming in the pool, and she's praying. Why is she praying? Oh, it's because she's Muslim, guys. Oh, I forgot. It's only been 5 minutes. Is she a Muslim? Thanks for reminding me. And this goes on and on and on. The movie drags, like I said, 90 minutes. But when it finally kicks into high gear for the last 15 minutes, holy shit, does that come out of left field?
It does, and it's like the movie ends so abruptly too. It's just like I said, they had a quota to fill with the hanged girl stuff, so they just saved it for the very beginning and for the very end. It's like, oh, we got to include it somewhere. So like very beginning to establish that is like, let's put a pin in that. 85 minutes later, like the last 5, it's like, oh, we're back to the hanged girl stuff, completely apropos of nothing.
Yeah. I think the best way to describe the third act, if you want to call it the third act of the movie, is in the very beginning of the movie, on the way up to St. Joseph's, they do pick up a hitchhiker.
Give me a few days. Cash only. Yeah, all right.
And he's like a normal dude, like as opposed to every other horror movie I've ever seen. This hitchhiker is the most normal hitchhiker ever, and they just invite him along, and he's with their group. He was obviously hitchhiking to go somewhere, but obviously he had no plans because he joins the group and he sleeps in the car. They're in the bed and breakfast Airbnb at the monastery. He's hanging out in the car, but he's part of the group. So then they have dinner together. They have like a home cooked meal. Time passes, and now everyone starts acting real weird. Like everyone is extra Islamophobic. Everyone really wants Lily. Like everyone wants her all of a sudden. Like she's like the object of everybody's affection. One of the girls wants to be with her. One of the couples is fighting because of her. What did you think of that turn?
It gave me such whiplash. I felt like I was gonna throw up. I was just in there like, you went from bashing this girl to like all of a sudden like you want to be her. It's like, pick a lane. Like seriously, y'all need to pick a lane.
Yeah. So I think Haley and whatever her boyfriend's name is, I forget what his name is, Harrison, I think, or Alex, whatever. They don't really even say the names much in this movie. So they're fighting because Haley thinks her boyfriend like wants Lily. And he's denying it. Like, no. And they get in a fight, and it goes from like they're fighting, then she's taking her clothes off, then she's like kissing him, and he's pushing her off of her. And it all culminates with this guy who is a normal, like regular, medium-framed, medium-height guy is smothered to death with the smallest pillow by a 110-pound woman.
Oh, shit.
Like, no, no. You're telling me he couldn't have shoved her to the floor, like at all? Like, I don't buy that at all.
Yeah, unless he was like drugged or something, and the movie doesn't show that. But like,
don't give up the twist like that, because guess what? They are all drugged because the sister, who is so Islamophobic, Lily cooks everybody like a traditional like Middle Eastern meal. So the hitchhiker, unbeknownst to everybody, just since he's a hitchhiker, of course he's got drugs on him. So the sister takes the drugs from the hitchhiker and spikes the I don't know what it is. It's some kind of, if it was Indian food, I would say it was like chicken tikka masala, but it's something of that nature from the Middle East. They're eating it. They don't say what it is. They do make some Islamophobic comments about the food, but whatever. But this food is loaded with LSD or mescaline or something.
You stole all my fucking drugs. I mean, just tell me you didn't use all of them. Okay, the liquid LSD, that shit is vicious.
I wouldn't eat that, Kit. You'll get deli belly.
And then everybody starts going batshit insane and killing each other. And this is all in the span of like the final 15 minutes of the movie.
Again, there's no build up to this. Like if you're gonna do this, fine, but at least like reference something, like plants and payoffs. And like this movie couldn't even do that. It's as sudden as an aneurysm.
Yeah, like in quick succession. Small girl smothers boyfriend.
Oh shit.
Girl goes to bathroom, hallucinates in the mirror, slits her wrists with glass. Everyone finds her. Now all of a sudden everybody's a doctor again. They're they're putting pressure on the wound, they're applying the tourniquet. They call the ambulance. The ambulance doesn't want to come because they always get calls like this from the monastery. So I don't know how they do, and apparently this is Australia. It's taking place in Australia because I noticed the license plate on the car at the end says New South Wales. So in Australia, who I thought had universal health care, they don't send ambulances. If you prank call them once, they're not sending a goddamn ambulance for you. Then they finally convince her because she gets back on the phone and like, okay, we'll dispatch an ambulance. They'll be there in 30 minutes. Well, 30 minutes isn't enough time. That girl bleeds out. The fiance comes upstairs. He starts hallucinating. He falls down the stairs in the weakest stunt work I've ever seen. And
You got this.
An innocent had to die.
Kit, what is going on?
Aaron had to die.
He breaks his back, falling down 3 steps. He's coughing up blood. She tries to do the same surgery she did on the guy in the beginning. She thinks she kills him, but no, she didn't kill him because she sees signs that he died of a drug overdose.
No. What the fuck?
Then it's revealed the sister drugged everybody, but she goes crazy and stabs the girl that's a lesbian all of a sudden.
I told you, if Kit dies, you die.
And then there's a huge chase outside, and she stabs Lily. And in the final thing, when you think the villain has won, the hitchhiker comes back because he had stolen the car, and he accidentally runs over the bad guy.
But the real Lily is a drunk, a drug addict, a murderer.
I'm no doctor, but that wound looks like the one that took 10 minutes to kill Jess.
That medical training, all those people's lives in your heads, and you let everybody die.
You're so fucking pathetic you can't even save yourself. Who's the fucking idiot?
And the movie ends.
And where was the hanged girl in all of that?
Nowhere. And this movie has the guts to do a post-credit scene.
Maybe a year ago?
I read about this. By the end of the night, only 2 of the 7 people walked away alive.
Well,
they claimed that one of the group went insane and tried to kill them all. But the rumors say something totally different.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Where we go back to the best actress in the movie, the lady behind the bar. She gives the same spiel, and there's a new family there, but the girl in the family is like a paranormal expert, and they zoom in on her face really quick, and it splices with the hanged girl. Just to remind us that we're watching the hanged girl.
Of all the endings you could rip off, The Omen is the one you choose to rip off.
Right. So, is there anything we left out in this masterpiece?
No, I think we covered just about everything. This movie feels like 6 movies in one. Like, it just, like, with no, like, care for any form of continuity. It just is, like, shove it all in, like, a blender, just blend it, like, there. It's like just gray, like movie mess.
Right. I'll say the only thing about this movie that I thought was even like remotely clever was the fact that this girl dumps like a pint of LSD into the food and just stirs it up. That scene was like, okay, it's not a half-star movie anymore. Now it's a full star. You dumped a pint of LSD into their food. Good for you. And because I laughed. So so if that's what it takes, I'll give it a little bit of credit. But do we leave anything out, Jacob?
No, like I said, I think that's just about everything. I will say, though, the opening, I was like, okay, it's incompetent, but at least it was like, I was optimistic. Like, okay, this could lead to something. It leads to nothing. But,
yes.
like, at least I was like, all right, let's see where they go with this. I was at least, like, intrigued.
Yeah,
so there's
that trailer is 1 minute and 24 seconds long. The opening of this movie is like maybe 2 minutes long, and 40 seconds of that 2 minutes is in that trailer.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, the one fun thing we've started doing since last week is, we're definitely telling you, I think you would agree. If you disagree, let me know. Don't watch this movie. There's no need for you to watch this movie. We watched it, so you don't have to. However, if you choose to watch this movie because you think it would be a hoot, Luis Boost, the champ, has asked us to fashion a drinking game around this movie. And I always let the guests go first. Jacob, can you think of a drinking game that you and your friends want to play while watching The Hanged Girl or The Haunting at St. Joseph's?
Fun is an operative word. I mean, like, I like my liver. I don't want a transplant, but drink every time, like, someone references anything Muslim or says a gross Islamophobic comment. Like, you'll need an ambulance on standby.
You will have to have your stomach pumped.
Pretty much, yeah.
I'll go one step further. So I would say just in the last 15 minutes of the movie, drink anytime somebody sustains an injury that would not kill somebody and they get far more injured than they should. That's a more fun, compact drinking game. Do that. But
yeah,
basically, that's basically
literally.
Go ahead, Jacob. Sorry.
Yeah, literally a couple of months ago, I was running. I'm training for a marathon, so I'm running, and like I'm on a training run, and I trip, and I kind of scraped my knee really bad, and it got a little bloody, let's just say. That looked more gruesome than anything in this movie, by a lot.
Yeah, they blow the entire effects budget, I'd say, in the last 5-10 minutes of the movie. There's blood everywhere in the last 5-10 minutes of the movie. It doesn't make sense where all the blood is coming from, but there's a lot of blood. But yeah, so if that's your thing, just fast. I mean, it's a 90-minute movie. Fast forward to the 75-minute mark and just watch it. Watch it as like an experimental student film. At that point, it'll be way better experience.
Yeah.
But that's we're going to wrap it up for this week. Jacob, where can people find you if they want more of your comedic stylings?
So all social media at RyanCam20. That's also where my YouTube channel is. Since it is December, I'm in the middle of my big Christmas series. I'm reviewing 25 Christmas movies up to December 25th. There have been some very bizarre ones that I've reviewed, including a movie called A Christmas Memory, which is based on a poem by Truman Capote, in which this little boy and his aunt, I assume, get drunk while making fruitcakes together. Yes, and this movie I'm covering in the next couple of days called Mixed Nuts, which has some of the grossest, like, transphobic jokes I think I've ever seen.
Is that movie with Adam Sandler in it?
Yes, it's directed by Nora Ephron of all people, and it stars Steve Martin, Liev Schreiber, Adam Sandler in a scene.
And Liev Schreiber is Liev Schreiber like fully trans, or is it just a transvestite thing in that movie?
I honestly, I don't know, but just it's so gross, and I just like, because it was the first viewing for me, and when I saw like some of the jokes happen, I'm just like, I had to like pick up my jaw off the ground, like it was like just so bad. But there have been some good ones, like I watched Scrooged for the first time, and that was really good. So it's not been a total wash, but it's all on my YouTube channel at RyanCam20. I'm literally almost at 400 subscribers. I'm at 399 as of this recording. So I would like to get to 400.
Maybe this channel. I think I'm subscribed to you, but this channel might not be. I can have this channel subscribed to your channel, and we'll take care of that for you.
I appreciate that. But I'm also in a lot of the trivia leagues. I'm in Why We Love Horror trivia. I'll get a win one day, I assure you people. But I'm also in multiplex sometimes. I'm in Jordan Pierce Owens's couple leagues. I'm in combat wrestling trivia. I'm going to be hopefully working with Malcolm Lay in Full Metal in the next season when he starts that up again. So I'm everywhere doing a lot of things. So if you haven't checked me out, please do.
As far as here on the Why We Love Horror channel, obviously that you're watching this Monday. Thanks for tuning in. If you made it this far in the video, like, subscribe, comment, share, go to the Facebook page, join that, drop me a line at wwlhorror@gmail.com. Coming up later this week, this Thursday, it's Christmas time. So myself, Aaron, and Abby, we're going to go back in time. We're going to review Gremlins for the hell of it. So tune in for the Gremlins episode. It should be a good time. And this Friday on Why We Love Horror Trivia, it's the inaugural Clips Championship, the Just Eclipse Championship. Jordan Pierce Owens, who is the inaugural champion, will be going up against 5 competitors in that match. Then it's the second semifinal match with the loved ones, my co-hosts, Abby and Aaron, taking on never sober, somewhat scary, the champ, Luis Boos, Anthony Tisdall. Should be a good match. But until then, this has been Versus, and we appreciate you.